Hello there, autistic and non autistic folks watching. I decided to make a series of videos where I do various tests I've done in the past when I was trying to figure out what is happening with me. I think these episodes are going to be of help for people who haven't been diagnosed yet but have a suspicion they might be on the spectrum. If you score high on this test and others I'm going to do in the future, you might want to consider looking for a specialist who can examine you and give you a proper diagnosis. Another thing is that some of the questions on these tests can be rather confusing. Confusing or misleading, I should say. So, that being said, let's have some fun and do some testing. Okay, guys, this is the Autism Spectrum Quotient test, abbreviated to AQ. It is a diagnostic questionnaire designed to measure the expression of autism spectrum traits in an individual by his or her own subjective self-assessment. It was first published in 2001 by Simon Baron-Cohen and his colleagues at the Cambridge Autism Research Center as part of the widely cited study entitled The Autism Spectrum Quotient: Evidence for Asperger's Syndrome, High-Functioning Autism, Males and Females, Scientists and Mathematicians. So in this test, for each of the statements, you have to choose one response that best describes how strongly the statement applies to you. So, some of them are quite confusing compared to others. Others are pretty clear, but let's start and see how it goes. First one, prefer to do things with others rather than on my own. Well, here I definitely prefer to do things on my own rather than with others, although probably there are some exceptions. So I would mark here slightly disagree. Second, I prefer to do things the same way over and over again. Definitely agree. Oh my god. Third, if I try to imagine something, I find it very easy to create a picture in my mind. Depends. I think this is a very confusing question to do with, I guess, imaginative play and imagination in general with autistic people. I think this is ridiculous how some people think of that it is impossible for us to imagine things. So here I would mark slightly agree. Okay, number 4. I frequently get so strongly absorbed in one thing that I lose sight of other things. Yes, I do that all the time. Yeah, that's a question for special interests, of course. So, number 5. I often notice small sounds when others do not. Definitely agree. I usually notice car number plates. Car number plates. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. Or similar strings of information. Well, at least I have added that. Definitely agree. When I tried to notice car number plates, when I experimented with that, yeah, I can remember them with ease, but this is a ridiculous statement. This is plainly ridiculous for me. But yeah, different strings of information I tend to notice very often, like phone numbers and some graffiti writings or whatever catches my attention. I'm just all the time looking around, and whatever my mind picks up, I tend to remember it, and for a long time. Doesn't matter if I need it. Anyways, let's continue. So, number 7. Other people frequently tell me that what I've said is impolite, even though I think it is polite. Yep, I would say here I definitely agree. Um, Number 8. When I'm reading a story, I can easily imagine what the characters might look like. In my mind, I think I can. Other people may say I cannot, but I would still say slightly agree here. I'm fascinated by dates. Yeah, I am. In a social group, I can easily keep track of several different people's conversations. No, I cannot. This is so messing with me. Number 11. I find social situations easy. No, not at all. Number 12. I tend to notice details that others do not. Yep. Okay. Yeah, another funny one. I would rather go to a library than to a party. I would go to neither of those. This is ridiculous. Why wouldn't it be? I would rather spend time in nature than go to a party. So I would think of the question like that in order to be able to answer it. So I would, okay, let's say I would slightly agree so that there isn't so much confusion. Maybe sometimes I would like to attend a party where there are just a few people, some of my closest friends, let's say 3 or 4 people. So that's doable. And they're all neurodivergent, so I guess that's why. Anyway, going to number 14. I find making up stories easy. No, I don't. I've tried to. No, I don't. Okay. I guess this is a more appropriate question for imagination, like making up stuff. It's pretty hard for me. Okay. Number 15. I find myself drawn more strongly to people than to things. Slightly agree, depending on if the person is a special interest of mine in that particular time. It could be my best friend or my girlfriend or I don't know. Doesn't matter. I would say slightly agree because most of the times I would be drawn more to oh to people than no. I slightly disagree. Sorry about that. I would be more drawn to things, but every once in a while I could be drawn to people as well. But as a special interest, not in any other sense. So moving on, number 16. I tend to have very strong interests, which I get upset about if I can't pursue. Yes, definitely. 17. I enjoy social chit chat. That's bullshit. I never enjoy that kind of talk. Okay, moving on. Number 18. When I talk, it isn't always easy for others to get a word in edgewise. Yeah, I guess it isn't. So I would definitely agree. Number 19. I'm fascinated by numbers. Yes, I am. Number 20. When I'm reading a story, I find it difficult to work out the character's intentions. I'll probably slightly agree here. I think this is much more to the point with imagination. So I might be able to imagine how the character would look like. Yeah, of course. Um, but when it comes to intentions, it's a bit harder for me. So yeah, I slightly agree. 21. I don't particularly enjoy reading fiction. No, I don't. I've read some fiction when I was younger, when I was a teenager, but I wouldn't say I enjoyed it much. So yeah, I don't really enjoy it that much. Um, I find it hard to make new friends. Definitely agree. I notice patterns in things all the time. Definitely agree. I would rather go to the theater than to a museum. Man, why? Why this question? This is ridiculous. I actually enjoy going to the theater, and I have gone with my father, with colleagues from work, and with like two or three friends, so that I wouldn't be so socially anxious. And I don't, let's say, cinema, going to the cinema is very frustrating for me. Like, I feel claustrophobic, but with theater, I guess people are a bit more calm and probably with a much narrow interests going to the theater, while at the movies you can see all kinds of people, some of which are pretty loud and obnoxious. So I I rarely go to a museum. I wouldn't say I don't enjoy that. It's just, I don't know, I seldom do that. It's just, you don't go to a museum every day. So, yeah, I would rather go to a theater than to a museum. I would slightly agree. Yeah, moving on from this ridiculous question. 25. It does not upset me if my daily routine is disrupted, is disturbed. It does upset me very much. Yeah. Um, 26. I frequently find that I don't know how to keep a conversation going. Yes, so I usually just blurt some useless stuff to not feel uncomfortable, I guess, which is ridiculous, or I start oversharing some information about me if I think that I should just continue talking. But yeah, it's pretty difficult for me to keep a conversation going, but in a weirder way, not just keeping quiet, but saying useless things. Yeah. Uh, Not in the way of small talk, useless things, though. Things that I guess have to do with my special interests, or that I think might help the conversation or give an answer to if like the person is having trouble with something. And yeah, I usually overdo it. So anyway, moving on to 27. I find it easy to read between the lines when someone is talking to me. No, I don't. I don't know why people do that. You can use rhetoric in a book, but don't do it in a conversation. It's so hard to keep track of that. Okay, 28. I usually concentrate more on the whole picture rather than on the small details. It depends. I think I'll slightly disagree with that. If there was a fifth option in between, maybe I would have marked that. Okay, I tend to lean on slightly disagree. Okay, I am not very good at remembering phone numbers. Oh, I am very good at remembering phone numbers from hearing them from the first time. Number 30. I don't usually notice small changes in a situation or a person's appearance. Sorry. Um, I notice small changes in a situation, uh, less frequent in person's appearance. So I guess I'll slightly disagree because I usually notice. 31. I know how to tell if someone listening to me is getting bored. No, I don't. That's why I keep going on and on and on. and then wonder why people don't want to meet me anymore. Yeah, that has been a serious problem of mine beforehand. But I think over time I've gotten a bit better with noticing that, but it's still a struggle. Like I have to focus on that so that I don't get it wrong. I mean, I have to think about it, which is in and of itself very hard. So 32, I find it easy to do more than one thing at once. No, I don't. I prefer to do only one thing. It just gets me so dopamine depleted to spread my attention to more than one thing at the same time. So, 33. When I talk on the phone, I'm not sure when it's my turn to speak. Yeah, I definitely agree. I hate talking on the phone. I've said that to my closest friends. I've said it to my family, to my girlfriend. Everybody knows that I just hate talking on the phone because there is so much misunderstanding there. It's just ridiculous. Okay, 34. I enjoy doing things spontaneously. No, not really. I would say slightly disagree, even though I want to say strongly disagree. But depends on the spontaneity, depends on the thing itself. Like if it has to do with my schedule, no. Definitely I don't enjoy doing things spontaneously, but I guess if it's something momentarily, like I don't know, like something that wouldn't go out of the schedule, like the general schedule, I wouldn't mind it being spontaneous. I enjoy surprises if they wouldn't ruin my schedule. I would say it like that. Okay, moving on. 35. I'm often the last to understand the point of a joke. Uh, yeah. Okay, let's say I'll slightly agree. I think I've developed my sense of humor a bit over the years. I mean, I'm 31, so why wouldn't I? But it's still hard for me. And I know I feel very anxious listening to a joke just because I'm worried of not understanding it. It just makes me so anxious, yeah. But I'll still slightly disagree. Oh, slightly agree. Sorry, slightly agree. I'm often the last. Yeah, this is a positive statement, so I'll, yeah, slightly agree. Sorry. 36. I find it easy to work out what someone is thinking or feeling just by looking at their face. This is very situational. I get to know the people who are close to me very good because I kind of become obsessed with them. They become a special interest of mine. So I would agree here, but with other people, including people I know but are not close to me, it's pretty hard to tell what they're feeling just from their expression. So uh, I would slightly agree since I tend to communicate more with just closely related people and avoid any other communication. So, 37. If there is an interruption, I can switch back to what I was doing very quickly. No, I can't. This is very disturbing. And especially at the workplace, I think this has to do with executive functioning. So that's why I think work environments can sometimes be very stressful for autistic people. Yeah. Moving on. I'm good at social chit chat. Yeah, when I was drunk, not anymore. Yeah, alcohol changed a lot of my symptoms drastically. 39. People often tell me that I keep going on and on about the same thing. Yeah, of course, that's what I'm interested in. Number 40. When I was young, I used to enjoy playing games involving pretending with other children. Not really. The only thing I used to pretend was something I watched on TV, like a kids show, or a video game, and I was with a stick in my hand pretending to fight a boss or something. And there was a friend of mine who I'm pretty sure is autistic. He's not diagnosed, but anyways, he's autistic definitely. Um and we were best friends for quite a big chunk of my life. And we would imagine being in the game, and we were just doing repetitive stuff like we would do in the game. But how would I rate this question? It's, I guess, one of the more confusing ones. Um, though I used to do it just with him, not with other kids. Um, I used to play pretend by myself that I'm a wizard. I don't know. I don't know, man. This is ridiculous. These things with imagination are just ridiculous. We can imagine stuff, autistic people. We can. It's just in a different way. I don't know. I don't know why people tend to put that as a symptom. Anyhow, I move on to 41. I like to collect information about categories of things. Example, types of cars, birds, trains, plants. Yeah, yeah. Just not the categories mentioned here. But yeah, when I was a kid, I was obsessed with dinosaurs. I was afterwards obsessed with planets and the cosmos. And I still have obsessions with pharmacology, for example. Anyway, um, 42. I find it difficult to imagine what it would be to be someone else. Yeah, most of my life. And over the last, I don't know, 2 years probably, I've tried doing that on purpose. Like I've put it as a task for me, as something, as a learning experience, if I can say so. And it's still pretty hard, but yeah, why not change that to slightly agree? I mean, I have found it difficult throughout my life, but now that I put myself to it, I think it's becoming a bit easier. All right, 43. I like to carefully plan any activities I participate in. Yes, I do. Anything out of plan, out of the ordinary, can get me into a meltdown very easily. And people wonder why. 44. I enjoy social occasions. I don't. Even when they're with close people, with my closest friends, um, I probably enjoy them if they are pretty calm, a calm gathering between very close friends. But it still gets me very anxious until I get there, and just the thought of it, and I very often excuse myself for not going. So, yeah, I'll definitely disagree. Even though sometimes I tend to have pretty good time, but yeah. I think over the years, alcohol helped me and it kind of stayed with me. It helped me with several things like I shouldn't say making friends, but getting to know somebody, like just meeting someone. Uh, it's not that it's not creating anxiety in me, it's just that I've done it over and over and over and over again, being tipsy or drunk, so that I've gotten so used to it already. And same goes for social situations. I mean, they're more bearable right now thanks to alcohol, even though I don't drink it anymore. So, yeah, thank you, alcohol, and thank you for not being a part of my life anymore. Okay, moving on. 45. I find it difficult to work out people's intentions. Yeah, yeah, definitely agree. This is different from working out people's emotions by reading their social cues, their expressions, etc. Because people's intentions might be misleading. They might say something and mean something totally different, and this is very often the case. Luckily, not with my closest people. I guess I'm not attracted to these kinds of people. So, yeah, I'll definitely agree on this one. 46. New situations make me anxious. Yes, they do all the time. Even though I seek novelty due to my ADHD, it's I think it's a battle between them. Not like a battle, not clash of autism and ADHD. It's more like I crave novelty quite often, but it still gets me anxious, and I tend to like high adrenaline situations every once in a while. Like I like dark and creepy places, and I think that satisfies my craving for novelty, as weird that that sounds. But I guess new social situations make me very anxious. And yeah, new situations in general make me anxious. Not that sometimes it's not, it's sometimes it might be exhilarating more than anxiogenic, but yeah, it still creates a lot of anxiety. Okay, moving on. 47. I enjoy meeting new people. No, I don't, but not that much, so I would slightly disagree. Sometimes I'm curious for some people. It's rare, but it happens. I'm a good diplomat. Uh, I wouldn't disagree completely because I think I can be of help, uh, especially to my neurodivergent friends, and this is when I'm feeling all right. If the thing that is happening to them and to somebody else, so I can be a good diplomat between those two sides. Not so much if I'm involved, then I guess I'm not that good. But yeah, that's why I would say slightly disagree. I'm not sure if I explained this one pretty good, but anyways. 49. I am not very good at remembering people's date of birth. Yes, I am. Number 50, the last one. I find it easy to play games with children that involve pretending. Again, that stupid question. Although I think it's A bit easier to answer it here. I don't think I find that easy. So I'll say I'll slightly disagree because I don't have kids yet, and I'll see what I do. But for now, I'll slightly disagree. Probably we're gonna be able to pretend playing video games together, just smacking the air with a stick. I don't know. Anyways, let's score my answers. 45 out of a possible 50. Scores 33 and between 33 and 50 indicate significant autistic traits. Concerned about your score? No, I'm not. Okay, I've done this test in the past, answering like throughout some periods of time, and I've gotten anywhere between 41 and 46, or maybe 40, I think 41, between 41 and 46. So I don't know, maybe sometimes in a different mode I've answered some of the questions slightly differently, but yeah, I guess my mean score would be 43. So that's pretty accurate. Okay, folks, this was the Autism Quotient, the most famous autism test out there. In the next episodes, I am going to do more tests, which some of you may find more approachable or more confusing. So stay tuned. I hope you enjoyed my company, and I would love to see you next time. Until then, may peace be with you.